Welcome to today's Explainer. We're jumping right into a scenario we've all dreaded at some point. I mean, it's a universally stressful nightmare, running out of gas right in the middle of a busy road. It's that heart-sinking moment, right? The engine starts to sputter, you're frantically tapping the fuel gauge, just hoping it's some sort of glitch, and then bam, you realize you are suddenly stranded. But don't worry, because today we're going to unpack the exact solutions you have, breaking down the nuts and bolts of emergency fuel delivery so you know exactly how to get back on the road.
Okay, let's dive into this. What actually happens when that gauge hits E? It's a highly relatable scenario for us all. You know, you're having an incredibly busy day, your mind is on a million different things, or maybe it's just a super late night drive, and you completely misjudge your fuel levels. Panic just immediately sets in. You look around, you realize there's absolutely no gas station in sight, and suddenly the stress is just overwhelming. The decisions you make in those next few minutes are absolutely critical for your safety.
And let's ground this in a real-world context for a second. Imagine being stranded on the busy roads connecting rapidly growing Texas areas, places like Schertz, San Antonio, Cibolo, and Universal City. We are talking about heavy, relentless daily traffic and long, exhausting commutes. When you're stuck on these specific corridors, running out of fuel isn't just a minor hiccup, it's a massive disruption. And honestly, it can happen to absolutely anyone, no matter how carefully you usually plan your trips.
Moving right along to Section 1. What is fuel delivery?
Well, emergency fuel delivery is exactly what it sounds like, a 24/7 roadside assistance service. The beauty of this whole thing is really in its simplicity. A professional literally brings enough gasoline or diesel directly to your location. The biggest takeaway for us here is that the help comes straight to you. You're totally eliminating that incredibly dangerous need to abandon your vehicle on the side of a busy highway. You just stay put, locked safely inside, and the fuel comes to you so you can safely resume your trip.
Let's look at Section 2, delivery versus the alternatives. And this brilliantly illustrates how people usually react versus what they actually should do.
The contrast here is just night and day. On one side, you have walk into a gas station. We've all seen people try this out of pure desperation, but walking along a highway shoulder, it's incredibly risky. You're completely exposed to fast-moving traffic, and man, it is agonizingly slow. On the flip side, you have calling for fuel delivery. You get to remain secure inside the safety of your own car, totally protected from traffic and the weather, while the solution makes its way directly to you.
When you look at fuel delivery compared to walking or calling a full towing service, the data really just speaks for itself. Check out the response time. Fuel delivery is fast. We're talking usually 30 to 60 minutes. Safety is rated very high compared to the downright risky nature of hoofing it down the highway. But I want you to look closely at the cost and resolution rows. Fuel delivery is highly affordable and gives you an immediate fix. Think about it. You don't have to pay the skyrocketing costs associated with hooking your car up to a tow truck just to drag it a few miles to a gas pump. It is, without a doubt, the most efficient, cost-effective choice on the board.
All right, Section 3. Who needs this service? You might be surprised, but the demographic relying on this is incredibly wide. Sure, it's everyday drivers caught in sudden emergencies and local families who desperately need to avoid being stranded with impatient kids in the back seat. But it goes way beyond that. Notice the inclusion here of commercial vehicles trying to minimize downtime, and even heavy-duty truck and RV owners. This specialized delivery actually caters to large commercial fleets and those massive RVs that require diesel. It truly is a universal safety net for anyone on the road.
Which brings us to Section 4, the call for help.
Getting rescued is practically a frictionless four-step process. Step 1, just share your exact location. Step 2, specify your vehicle type and whether you need gas or diesel. Step 3, you'll immediately receive an estimated arrival time so you aren't just sitting there left guessing. And finally, Step 4, a professional arrives with the fuel. The whole thing is designed to be completely stress-free, getting you fueled up and back on the road in minutes without jumping through any complicated hoops. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the what-if scenario. What if the fuel goes in and the engine still won't turn over? Honestly, it's a highly valid concern. The delivery technicians can offer some basic advice right there on the spot, but actual serious engine or fuel system issues are ultimately going to require a dedicated mechanic or a full tow. The fuel delivery gets the gas in the tank, but it's not a mobile repair shop for deeper mechanical failures.
You will also have to consider your vulnerability out there on the side of the road. Are there safety or scam concerns? You bet there are. The guidance from our sources here is crystal clear. Always, always call a reputable, verified local service provider. Do not respond to or trust random, unknown numbers popping up on your phone.
Reaching out to an established local business ensures you are getting a vetted professional to your window, not some scammer trying to take advantage of an emergency.
And that leads us perfectly into Section 5, the local advantage.
A local provider has a massive edge over some distant national dispatch center. They actually understand the local traffic patterns in places like Schertz. They know the absolute fastest hidden routes when the main highways are totally jammed up, and they immediately recognize common roadside trouble spots. This localized knowledge directly translates into significantly faster arrival times for you. Basically, it means way less time gripping the steering wheel and waiting on that dangerously narrow shoulder of the highway.
Okay, Section 6, how to prevent empty tanks.
So, the crucial point is this. While emergency delivery is an absolutely amazing safety net, avoiding the situation entirely is the ultimate goal, right? Here are 5 proactive tips to make that happen. First, make it a habit to refill when your tank hits a quarter full, not when that little orange light comes on. Plan your stops on long trips, actively monitor that gauge, use your phone's navigation apps to spot upcoming stations before you hit a dead zone, and please keep up with your regular vehicle maintenance so your fuel gauge is actually giving you an accurate reading.
We're going to wrap up our explainer today with this powerful ethos pulled directly from the source text. When it comes to emergencies, timing is everything. It really encapsulates exactly why knowing about this service matters. You now know exactly how it works, why it's light years safer than walking, and how to prevent needing it in the first place. So I want to leave you with this final thought. The next time you're driving and you see that needle inching closer and closer to the red, will you leave your safety to chance, or are you now fully prepared to make the smart, fast call? Keep these strategies in your back pocket, stay safe out there on the roads, and thanks so much for joining me for this explainer.